Good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, November 11th, 2020. That means we're just 141 days from opening day. Now, we're finding out more each day about how the Yankees intend to construct their roster for the 2021 season. They've already been linked to Francisco Lindor, and today they've been linked to Andrelton Simmons. This tells us that they're putting a priority on infield defense. Gleyber Torres, great offensive player, not a great defensive shortstop. Maybe there's some talk about shifting him back to second base. We'll see what happens with LeMahieu, with Lindor. But today there was an article in the New York Post about how they've been linked to Andrelton Simmons. Now, Andrelton Simmons is a defensive wizard at shortstop. He's one of the best defensive shortstops I've ever seen. He's a four-time Gold Glove winner. He came up with Atlanta. He played the bulk of his career with Atlanta. Over the past few years, he's been with the Angels, the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, of California, of Earth. He's got a 696 career OPS, which is not great. It's below average. But he's not really an offensive guy. He's a shortstop that makes a difference by saving runs, right? There's two ways to win games. You can create runs or you can prevent runs. And he's definitely one of those guys who's going to help you prevent runs. He's got a tremendous arm. He's got a ton of range. Now, it's worth noting that Andrelton Simmons is not the same player these days that he was when he first came up with the Braves in 2012. Honestly, I didn't realize he'd been in the league for 8 years already. Time flies. He was traded to the Angels in 2016, but over the past couple of years, he's had some ankle injuries. And if you remember, late in Derek Jeter's career, he had ankle injuries. And it's only a matter of time before those ankles give out if you're putting too much strain on them and you've already got some problems. So if I'm the Yankees, I'm taking a really good hard look at his medical history, his medical records, before I agree to bring him in, especially if he's going to be expensive. He made $15 million last year, minus whatever the COVID percentage was with the Angels. I don't know if he's wanting to get a starting job. I'm sure he would love to be the starting shortstop for the New York Yankees. A lot of people would. But I really don't know if he's the player at this point in his career where he would be that much of an improvement over what we have. Sure, he would be an improvement defensively. Obviously, he's much better defensively than Gleyber Torres, but what you're losing offensively might not really make up for it. So Andrelton Simmons, to me, unless he wants to come in as a role player, a guy who can play defense late in the game, or maybe, shift around to second base or third base, kind of be that super utility Ben Zobrist type. And let's be honest, he's too good of a shortstop to want to do that. He's going to start somewhere. I just don't see it happening. I think the Yankees should take a pass on Andrelton Simmons. Another thing that's worth mentioning is that Andrelton Simmons is another guy who hits from the right side of the plate. And the Yankees are a bit too right-handed heavy as it is. Ever since Didi Gregorius left, that lineup has been pretty heavily right-handed. I would prefer that whomever they brought in to play shortstop, if they do bring in somebody to play shortstop, which is not a guarantee at this point, that they can hit from the left side. That's one of the reasons that I think Francisco Lindor makes a lot of sense, because he's a switch hitter, so he takes away all thought to lineup construction, because he'll hit lefty or righty depending on the pitcher that you're facing. I also like the idea of Tommy La Stella as a utility guy. Now, they already have Tyler Wade as a cheaper utility guy, but Tyler Wade is not a guy who really has much thump with the bat. He's got more speed. He does give you that dynamic. He can play a lot of positions. He could even play the outfield. So, they'll probably hang on to Tyler Wade. He's definitely cheaper than Tommy La Stella would be, because Tommy La Stella is an established veteran. But I would prefer that the Yankees do add a bit of left-handed balance. Some people have even suggested bringing Didi Gregorius back to play shortstop. I'm not opposed to that move. I think if you do that, you can even sign DJ LeMahieu again, put him at first base, and then move Luke Voit if you need to. Now, I love Luke Voit, but he is a trade chip because he's got a lot of power and he's very, very cheap. So he could maybe help you build out that bullpen. Or he could be used in a move to get Francisco Lindor. Maybe you put Francisco Lindor at short, and then you have DJ LeMahieu at first base. Now, that would be more expensive, for sure. You probably wouldn't be able to invest as much in pitching as you'd like. But again, you do have Luis Severino coming back. You do have Clark Schmidt, who the Yankees seem very high on, coming up. Now, I feel like he has some mechanical things to work on, but hopefully during spring training he can iron those out. You do have Davy Garcia, who's a very young, controlled pitcher. over the next 5 or 6 years. So you don't need to spend there. You have Jordan Montgomery, who's not that expensive. So maybe the Yankees are trying to spread out their money away from the rotation. It wouldn't be a bad idea to really improve your roster by adding a dynamite shortstop and re-signing LeMahieu if you can figure out a way to do it. But I just don't see Andrelton Simmons as being the solution.
If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It helps YouTube suggest this channel to other Yankees fans.